Welcome to a 1v1 on Minsk Pocket. This game is going to be Iron War versus Splash.radioactive ___ hashtag. Actually, that's probably 4 underscores. Probably. 3 rear echelon opening, apparently. On Minsk Pocket, I guess I could see that. Capping it on all 3 lanes with the rear echelon troops. And then use the rifleman to try to win the engagement. Meanwhile, Radioactive is going double Kubelwagen, so both of them are trying some edgy strats, apparently. This game's gonna be a little wacky. Kubelwagen defending the center VP is actually going to be quite lucky and encounter the one squad of riflemen on this battlefield. Kubelwagen is perfectly positioned to shut that push down. We'll catch them, suppress them, have no problem forcing that retreat. Rear echelon troops that are moving to try and maybe set up a flank on the left side are going to get caught by the second Kubelwagen and also probably forced to retreat. So thus far it looks like this double Kubelwagen opening is sort of working and forcing retreats, but obviously he's going to be extremely slow to cap territory. I saw it, Bluey. Thank you. It's very cute. I'm tempted. I am tempted to switch to that one. Although it says boom instead of bang, so like the text, I can't change the text and the image. I can only change the image. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could maybe be wrong about that actually. There's probably a way to do it, but I don't know what the way is. But still, I don't know. I do like it though. I'll have to think about it. Part of me kind of wants to just keep the existing Romeo Bang, just because, like... Boom! There goes the Kubelwagen. Red Rifleman. So elite Riflemen are on the field. They will get into range on the Kubel right there. Finish it off with an anti-tank rifle grenade. It's pretty important with the Kubelwagen to kite that. Kite those vetted rifle squads, because if it tanks the AT grenade, there's a very good chance it's going to be destroyed unless you can force the retreat on that squad with some supporting infantry nearby very quickly. So that was a bit of a mistake by Splash there. Second Kubelwagen rotating towards the center. It's going to be very hard to keep up with the US now, having lost that Kubelwagen. And he definitely won't be able to afford to make that same mistake with this one, or it'll just be too much manpower down the drain to be able to come back from, I think. He's going to try and go in for a second rifle grenade here on the Kubel, and it looks like he might get it off, but like I said, with enough supporting infantry, he can force the squad to retreat immediately. Kubelwagen's not in any real danger, especially if it's at full health. Hey Ticinia, good question. Actually, there's only 23 people here. Oh well, that's okay. The winner of the Coco Jambo Award was Cheese, also known as Burts5556, for his series win against Barton. You can check that series out on my YouTube channel, where we saw it was a pretty fun non-meta series, and the reason we decided that was the best series. Oh, and Gaddafi's here. How appropriate. The reason we decided on that series is because not only was it a non-meta win, it was also a pretty close series between very evenly matched players. So it wasn't just a total stomp between an extremely skilled player and somebody that wasn't going to be able to beat them. It was they were actually quite evenly matched, and she's got a win in that series with some pretty fun non-meta play. So that's what led us to make that decision. But I think lots of honorable mentions go out to Von Ivan, who I'm not ignoring him. What do you mean? Whatever. To Von Ivan for his non-meta play against various people. In particular, his Su-76s were pretty fun on Stalingrad against Cookies and Cream. Also, honorable mentions go to a lot of players. Honestly, we had a lot of very good non-meta play, especially Red Wings. Also, a lot of great non-meta play. Not in as many non-meta wins though. That was the main thing. A lot of non-meta play wasn't eligible for the award because they didn't win. But we still saw some very fun attempts for the Coco Jambo Award. So.
Squad, Ready to move. Listen up. Here's the Jaeger. Grenadiers ready.
So yeah, Cheese is the winner of that award. So congratulations to Cheese for that. And of course, Paul wins the $50 Last Man Standing award. And Loveness wins the $100 Domination award.
Grenadiers ready. Commando abilities ready. Target secure. Area secure. Cover the advances. The battle is about to commence.
So, Splash has apparently chosen Scavenge Doctrine. Fielded one squad of Jaegers here. He has managed to keep this Kuba wagon alive. Struggling for map control a little bit, but will get control of the left side munitions here. Folks Grenadiers are moving to grab a little more territory on that front. Stern Pioneers will be forced to retreat here, but the Kuba wagon plus Jaegers and green cover should be able to shut down this push unless they have smoke grenades, which they do. He's going to throw a frag instead. Does a little damage to the squad. One model did not have green cover apparently and gets killed.
The capture point is under attack.
Looted meta. Meta is a term that the KOTOR community uses to describe strategies that basically are considered to be overpowered or highly utilized by people who are trying their absolute best to win and think that they have the best chance of winning. For example, as Soviets, currently the meta game is to go guard motor coordination, get guards and heavy mortars and T-34-85s, and start with a 4 conscript, 2 combat engineer opening into tier 2, maybe field guns. And that would be a pretty accurate description of one very popular Soviet metagame. And non-meta means trying to be very creative and coming up with a strategy or build that other people maybe are not expecting or have not seen before.
A capture point is being overrun. One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire. Our supply line just got cut off.
Over here on the left side, Folks Grenadiers with the Panzerschreck. Falling low to a BAR squad. I don't think that he's monitoring this engagement. That's going to be a painful loss. Late retreat right there. Loses the Panzerschreck squad. Over here on the right side, there is a fighting position up right here. Folks Grenadiers get inside the minimum rifle grenade range. I don't think he's monitoring this engagement either, though. He really needs to be better about monitoring those flanks. He's lost 2 Folks Grenadier squads to being overwhelmed by riflemen because he wasn't paying attention. Got a couple squads reinforcing and healing here in the base, and there is a tier 3 structure up, going with flak half-track after a 2 Kuba wagon opening, so kind of sticking with the standard thing, only like, you know, really weird and exaggerated way, going with 2 Kuba wagons into flak half-track plus 2 squads of Jaegers. I don't think he's trying to minimize his reliance on Folks Grenadiers, I guess. I mean, he did have 3 squads of them. Doesn't anymore, though. Meanwhile, Iron War is floating way too much fuel. I don't think he's made a single officer yet. No, he hasn't. He's made only riflemen. Riflemen and fighting positions and rear echelon troops. Which is, to be fair, keeping his manpower down. I think he just purchased a lieutenant. That is a 9.5-minute lieutenant, though. Pretty late. Black half-track is on the field now, making its way to the battle.
Secure the vehicle. Location set. Begin conversion. Grenadiers back to full strength. Squad, ready. This is what we're trained for. Form up. Get that LMG into the center. I don't want to lose it right off the bat. Steady up. Ready for return fire. Return fire.
Flak half-track makes its entrance over here on the right side, forces 1 retreat, and should have no problem destroying this fighting position. He might consider getting a little closer, and it's going to take a little time. And he should not park in front of it either. You don't know what to do with your hands? Thank you for your $13 donation, Lumpy. Much appreciated, and I will, of course, fast lane your game. And thank you for your continued support of the stream. Much appreciated. Over here on the left side, apparently I think a BAR squad got wiped, maybe? Did those rear echelons? That looks like dead rear echelon troops. Yeah, a squad of rear echelons with a BAR got wiped. Volksgrenadiers are going to move to recover that. This squad gets away narrowly, and the flank half-track will destroy that fighting position right there. So, a couple of engagements going pretty well for the OKW player. Two squads of riflemen making their way right to try and take control of some territory, and the Kubelwagen continues to defend here in the center. Two squads of Jaeger Lights blob capping the left side munitions. As far as map control, Overcommando West player probably has enough to survive. 4 strategic points, 2 high resource points, and the clock is stopped. So he's in pretty good position. He can hold on to this amount of territory that he has. Volksgrenadiers with their BAR plus Jaegers should be able to beat this lieutenant squad, especially since the officer model went down. No Thompson. Getting sniped pretty quick, you should probably just retreat that. Kubelwagen will pin down this squad of riflemen in the middle. And there's the flank. Kubelwagen is going to try and get to safety, but it's too late. That flank is definitely going to take that Kubelwagen down. Infiltration grenades into his own retreat path. Oh god. That's a common mistake though. I've done that. I have done that before. I've seen pros do that. I saw DBMB do that during Starcross Kings. He retreated over his own grenade. Lost a full squad.
Crew stand ready. Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
Volksgrenadiers should be able to win against this rifle squad. Looks like Splash is going to go very hard tier 3, by the way, going flak half-track into Puma. So, probably would be punishable by the American player. He would go to Major and get some tanks out. I think he's going to stall straight for easy 8s, which I guess is fine. But he could put a lot more early pressure on his opponent by just going straight for M4A3 Sherman. He could have gotten it out a lot earlier. I'm quite surprised, by the way, that he's going with an AA half-track. It seems like kind of a strange purchase. He's now up to 5 riflemen plus his lieutenant, so he's bleeding quite a bit of manpower and reinforcement costs.
Alright, you dopes, listen up. Shake it out. We're moving. And bring that damn Browning up here. On the hook over here! Contact! Enemy infantry!
Rifle grenade on the Puma right there. That's gonna have to pull back to safety.
Half-track, waiting for orders.
Stern Pioneer squad is still alive. It's up to Vet 2, so he does have that mobile source of repairs. He doesn't have to pull back to his tier 3. And Puma is an okay counter-harassment unit, as you can see. Unfortunately, draining US players' munitions isn't as beneficial as draining Osterre players' munitions. So generally, it's not worthwhile to soak up AT grenades on a Puma on the flanks like that, really, because the US player doesn't really have any problem spending that 25 munitions, or 30, what is it? 25. It's not that big of an expenditure for a US player, and it will force his opponent to have to... I mean, Stern Pioneers are already very busy in any game. They have a lot of roles to fulfill. And especially in a hard tier 3 build like this, you don't really want to have to waste time running your Stern Pioneers to run and catch up with your damaged engine Puma every time it wants to push away one rifle squad off the flank of the map. So generally, it's better practice to try and kite the riflemen than eat their anti-tank grenades, even if they're not going to be able to follow up and kill your Puma. Because it's just inefficient. It's just inefficient to willingly take engine damage on a Puma, whereas Shermans or M20s or whatever American light vehicle can often actually, it can be quite worthwhile to intentionally eat up Panzerfausts. Just drive straight into the Grenadier squad and eat Panzerfaust, because Osterre munitions are so precious. Very, very precious. It completely slows down the Osterre upgrade economy every time you eat a Panzerfaust like that, so it's kind of a different dynamic. Puma's getting a couple lucky snipes here. It's up to 4 kills. It will be Vet 1 soon, which will help it significantly against tanks later in the game. Flak half-track continues to defend here in the center.
Ready for action. Ready! Ready for... Commander abilities ready. Stand ready.
AA half-tracks are about to face off here in the center. I think they don't quite have vision of each other, although they're probably both in range. Autocannon firing at this one. Doesn't have Vet 1, so it cannot pop smoke, and the autocannon will bring it down, although a crit on the rear of this damages its engine. It looks like American infantry will overwhelm this position. The Puma was late to the engagement, but it should probably be able to finish this thing off before it can get to safety with its damaged engine right there. It's going in hard on the AA half-track and will snipe it. Main gun and engine destroyed. And there it goes. That was a pretty crit-tastic vehicle right there, but it doesn't matter. The Puma coaxial machine gun helped finish it off. The Jaegers make their way towards the center to try and push away these riflemen in the middle. There are 4 squads here right now. There's a 3rd squad of Jaeger light infantry that could try and move to support here. Volksgrenadiers available in the middle. And there's the first Easy-8, first of 2. Judging by the American player's fuel stockpiles, gets a big hit off on the Puma right there, which will try and start kiting that Easy-8 to death. Grenades being exchanged here in the middle, wipe 1 Volksgrenadier squad, force a couple riflemen to retreat. That Volksgrenadier squad doesn't want to stick around any longer than it has to. The Sturm Pioneers, unfortunately, were wiped during that engagement, so the only source of Oberkommando West repairs is now the Tier 3 structure, but he's got 700 manpower floating. You could probably get another squad out. He's going to spend some of that on a new Raketenwerfer and Volksgrenadier squad. Just going to have to be relying on the Tier 3 for repairs then. Spends the rest of his float on reinforcement here in the base. Don't think he has a forward retreat point unlocked, so every time he retreats it is all the way back to base, but he can immediately move back up towards near the fuel and reinforce and heal there. Kind of an interesting truck placement. These are pretty passive placements, but they'll at least prevent him from being camped like right outside of his base. It gives him some small semblance of map presence, but nothing too risky or dangerous, just pretty passive. Pretty conservative placement.
Grenadier, the command half-track has been converted into the headquarters building. Remember to adjust fire once the assault begins. Achtung! Ready weapons. Taking fire! Jaeger, defensive formation! Jaeger! Ready to heal wounds! Target that infantry! Ready!
Puma moving to counter some harassment over here on the right side. The Lieutenant, by the way, is an excellent target for the Puma because he has no anti-tank grenade. So you can get right into point-blank range and use the coaxial machine gun without have to worry about kiting. Of course, he's just going to eat this rifle grenade anyway, which is a dangerous thing to do with an Easy-8 on the field, by the way. You can't really afford to take engine damage on your Puma at any point if there is a medium tank that can come hunt you down. Meanwhile, here in the middle, a big blob just walks right into this fighting position, and they all get suppressed, which means that this engagement is looks like it's lost on both fronts. And the 2 Volksgrenadiers moving up here to try and help push away these infantry, take a big Easy-8 shell. Will be forced to retreat. Easy-8 goes in on the damaged engine Puma, and it looks like it's probably going to be destroyed. Although a Raketenwerfer does arrive to try and push it away. Puma shots are bouncing. Raketenwerfer lands 2 shots, and the Easy-8 cannot continue chasing and will pull back to safety. But a second Easy-8 is on the field now. Ooh! Apparently the Easy-8 couldn't quite pass to safety in time and is actually destroyed right there by that Raketenwerfer, so that Puma gets lucky. I think that Iron War could have preserved that Easy-8 if he had microed it a little bit better. Or pop smoke.
Squad, shut it. We are receiving new orders. Combat unit ready. Our supply lines have been cut. Americans are making a push. Prepare for combat. Grenadiers, squad, ready to move.
These squads are going to make their way towards the battle group headquarters right there. Puma is being repaired. As for victory points, up until this point, Splash has been a little behind, but nothing too catastrophic. Now that he's lost control of the right side, he will be triple capped and is going to be forced to try and start executing a lot better if he's going to survive.
Capabilities ready for deployment.
Taking out that Easy 8 with his Raketten Morpher is a pretty good start, but he's going to have a lot more Easy 8s to fight against if he doesn't turn this map control situation around. He currently only holds 2 strategic points, which is definitely not enough.
Now stand at 300 points. Target that infantry! Return fire! Squad, listen up!
Puma heading right with Volksgrenadier support to engage against those Minesweeper rear echelon troops. Jaegers are going to make another pretty futile attempt to charge down the middle, I think. Although they just wiped a squad right there. Kind of a lucky snipe, I think. They can't go too far into the capture circle because there's a 50... The range ends right there, actually, so... Try. Puma's going to try and push the Easy 8 back. Firing on it from maximum range. Not quite Vet 3 yet. At Vet 2 it gets accuracy and rate of fire, and is firing pretty fast. Whoa! Getting dangerously close right there. Doesn't quite have line of sight, I guess, because of this shrubs. If he takes engine damage right here, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to save it a second time. The rifle grenade does connect. Jaegers in the capture circle are going down fast. VAR upgraded riflemen. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to hold this line. Raketten Morpher gets to the engagement pretty late, but without infantry protecting it, those riflemen will have no problem just clearing it out. White phosphorus being dropped on that Raketten Morpher probably hurts more than it helps, honestly. Those riflemen could have just walked up and killed it. White phosphorus is going to force them to take a roundabout route towards that Puma. Volksgrenadiers, fresh Volksgrenadiers heading right to try and slow down the victory point drain, maybe get control of the right side, if possible. And the Tier 4 structure, fortunately, will defend against an overly aggressive push by those infantry, but they don't really feel a particular need to push beyond what they currently hold. As long as he keeps this triple cap going, probably no real danger of Radioactive turning this game around. And with only 121 fuel banked at this point and having not really much of any map control at all, not really sure what he's going to feel to try and get map control back. He could maybe go Ostwind, but that would leave him a little weak in the anti-tank department. With 2 Easy 8s on the field, he would need to support it with a lot of Raketten Morphers. And he is getting himself a second one now, but it may be impossible for him to come back from this point.
Enemy activities. Enemy infantry! Raketten ready. Field promotion!
No reaction to that grenade, and the squad gets wiped. Yet another squad wiped. Easy 8 working on the right side. Puma will get caught by these riflemen and may take engine damage again.
Squad, shut it. We are receiving new orders. Taking fire! Attack the flying unit!
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got your email, Momo. I'm pretty sure I added that one. Puma trying to kite that Easy 8 to death with Raketten Morpher support, brings it to a little below half, but doesn't feel comfortable chasing because I think it might be about 1 hit from death, especially with A good burst from the top mount, 50 cal. 3 squads of Jaegers heading left to get territory under control. The triple cap has briefly stopped. This next push by the US player might be able to turn things around. Puma's up to vet 3 now. Grenade tossed by the lieutenant will force both Rakettenwerfers to retreat, plus an advancing blob of infantry right there. Oh, what is that Puma doing? Oh no! I think it might be dead. Oh, fortunately neither one of those squads deployed a rifle grenade right there. If they had, that was a dead Puma for sure. Blob capping with Jaegers over here on the left side. He could have sent them hard left. That would have left them very vulnerable to the Sherman chasing them down on retreat, but it's currently completely undefended, so he might be able to get a little territory under control before the Shermans move to counter. Meanwhile, over here on the right side, Iron War being a little slow to get the triple cap going again, but he does still have victory point control, still has total, absolute map control. Getting a couple squads reinforced and healed here in his base, and Easy 8 production just keeps going, just keeps making more tanks. No reason not to. Against nothing but hard tier 3. 168 fuel here for radioactive, and I guess he might go Panther next. He's actually got tier 4 up. This game has actually lasted that long apparently, in 27 minutes. So yeah, he could go Panther. I guess he's probably going to go Panther next. Although against Easy 8, with this many Easy 8s already on the field, that may not even work. But I guess it's worth a shot. Wow, one shot at that squad. No, not yet. 40 cake. I just barely started. This is my first game of the night. Rakettenwerfers bring the Easy 8 quite low, and the Puma is successful in hunting it down. Easy 8 goes down right there. Wow. Surprisingly, Splash is getting some pretty good work done with his Rakettenwerfers and Puma against those Easy 8s. Because they never seem to have infantry in the right place at the right time to clear these things. And he doesn't deploy smoke either. Easy 8s definitely need to deploy smoke to make sure that they get away alive. Now Panther might actually have a pretty good chance. Of making a dramatic impact. I don't know though. Maybe he shouldn't even go Panther. Maybe he should go like Sturm Tiger or something and try and kill some rifle blobs. If Puma plus Rakettenwerfers is actually all he needs to take on Easy 8s, maybe he should focus on some sort of anti-infantry utility instead. He also needs to pay better attention to his lone Volksgrenadier squads. Every time that happens, it's such a huge setback. He's lost a lot of Volksgrenadiers to just being in front of BAR-equipped riflemen at the wrong time. Oh my god, is he seriously not watching this? He's blob capping the center in front of 2 BAR squads. I guess he is watching, because that squad just retreated. I don't think he can win this without throwing a grenade to turn the engagement. I don't know, maybe he can. One of those riflemen does have a Panzerschreck equipped. Easy 8 going up against the Puma over here on the left side. Puma has popped smoke to try and ensure its escape. I think that Easy 8 probably could have chased that Puma down. Another squad of Volksgrenadiers dies in the face of those riflemen. We're not able to win that engagement, and 2 Volksgrenadier squads get wiped in the center. U.S. Forces player keeping the clock ticking. With only 75 points remaining, it doesn't look like Radioactive can turn things around here. But with 200 fuel in the bank, I think he might be going straight for King Tiger. I don't think he's going to make it to King Tiger, although I applaud his effort. He is stalling for quite a while. Slows the clock over here with capping on the left side, but he's going to have to do even more than that. 2 Easy 8s currently on the field. The thing about the King Tiger on this map is the map is so big, King Tiger's not that mobile. So even with the King Tiger on the field, it can be hard to get victory point control. Unless you can start wiping tons of stuff with it. You need to have a little bit more of a victory point cushion at the time when the King Tiger hits the field. Otherwise, even if you do get it out, it just takes too long to turn the game back in your favor. It's a very ponderous tool. Very lumbering. King Tiger will slowly turn the game back in your favor. On a small map, doesn't take quite as long. White Phosphorus deployed right there. Kettenwerfers get clear. Easy-8 charging them, trying to get clear of their Arcfire, and Rifleman trying to use a frag. We'll get both of those Kettenwerfers cleared. Puma is shooting at the Rifleman. Oh no, it's not. Shooting at the Easy-8. Both Kettenwerfers cleared, though. Puma is not going to be successful in killing that Easy-8, I don't think. Although apparently the Easy-8's going to disengage a little. I don't know. I can't tell what's going to happen here. If that Puma doesn't utilize aimed shot, which it can't because it doesn't have the munition. Wow, really? I thought for sure that Puma was going to lose this. Joke's on me, apparently. That's what happens when you let a Puma get to Vet 5. It's taking on Easy-8s at medium range like it's no big deal. Jeez. Apparently Splash knows that he will not make it to King Tiger and has opted to go for a Panther instead. This Easy-8 is going to try and hunt and destroy the wounded Puma, but it's already way over here, and I don't think he knows where it is. Either way, it probably doesn't matter. Only 25 points currently remain. Jaegers move to recover some Kettenwerfers over here and deal minor damage to that Easy-8. I honestly don't think a Panther was the right call. I think he should have gone like double Panzer II or something, some kind of anti-infantry tool, because he has a Vet 5 Puma out, and obviously that is all he needs to take on unlimited Easy-8s, from what I can tell. He needed some kind of anti-infantry instead. His opponent has only 1 tank left, but 7 combat-capable infantry squads. A Panther can't. I don't think a Panther can turn this around because it just can't do anything against this. Not fast enough. I mean, Panthers are pretty strong against Riflemen slowly over the course of like a long engagement, but it looks like it just doesn't matter. That Panther's hitting the field too late and doesn't have enough to offer to magically turn this game back around. With only 8 points remaining, the US player will set back up a triple cap here, and that's going to be GG. I think we saw some kind of interesting stuff this game. Obviously, it was a pretty low-skill game between players that are newer to the game. Certainly, we're not using any standard meta builds or timings. Lots of infantry here for Iron War. And Flash just couldn't keep up, especially with his double Kubelwagen opening. He wasn't able to keep them alive, and Kubelwagen preservation is extremely important as a War Commander West. If your Kubelwagen dies within the first few minutes, there's a pretty decent chance that you're going to lose the game. And going double Kubelwagen just makes that gamble even more risky. So, map control, just couldn't hold map control with that build. Good game. Allies win.